A Mighty Wind, The Annals of History, by Lord Blackwater.
Chapter 19. Go-Go Power Hermaphrodite.
Do you trust me?
Barnaby asked Nora, Keldorf, and Trinity.
Of course,
they said in unison.
All right. Trinity, you keep ripping off bits of log and ramming them up buttholes.
Got it, Daddy,
Trinity said with an air of excitement in her voice. She ran off to do what she apparently did best. Barnaby turned to Nora and Keldorf.
Remember when we transformed into that giant creature after eating Dale's special yum-yum mushrooms? Well, I think we can recreate that here. Keldorf, I'm going to need you to put your pork sword in my minge.
Barnaby, I'd let you blow queef ash all over my face if it meant getting rid of this proud boy, Keldorf said.
Good. Then Nara, I'll put Stephen in your stinky fahooter, and then you fist Keldorf,
Barnaby explained.
Got it. We make one big sex circle,
Nara stated, beginning to understand where Barnaby was going with this plan.
Reminds me of those orgy piles you told me about, Barnaby.
Barnaby smiled at her.
Right. Let's etch out our place in the annals of history, my loves.
With that, the three of them began to connect themselves. Keldorf grunted with the approach of the fist. Barnaby cooed as the shaft slid roughly in, and Nara yelled,
Stephen, you tickle,
as the loop was completed. Once Stephen was in, a burst of light came from their trinity. A gust of wind blew out from underneath them, knocking over the surrounding villagers. By the time everyone had gotten up and adjusted their eyes, the three of them were gone. In their place stood a giant hermaphrodite who had the physical features of all three of them. It had Barnaby's hairy ass, Nalra's veiny uniboob, and Keldorf's magical hands. Stephen sat in the middle, bigger and harder than he'd ever been.
Transwarp Megazord Battle Mode,
they all cried in unison. Shartner looked up. Barnaby, Nalra, and Keldorf couldn't tell if there was any fear in her eyes. If there was, no one noticed it because Shartner instantly launched herself at the giant hermaphrodite, spinning her penta-wiener sword with full force. Before Shartner could hit the giant, the three of them had already grabbed her by the penis. They swung her around and then slammed her body into the stone steps leading up to the plaza. Shartner laid there with her limp wiener hanging out for everyone to see. The giant hermaphrodite came down and rested next to Shartner. They ripped off her Proud Boy jacket and wrapped it around their hand. They reached down, grabbed Shartner's penis, twisted, and then tugged. The wiener came loose with a loud crunch. Villagers stood in awe of the scene. No one continued to resist. No one continued to fight. The sun came out as the transwarp Megazord roared to the heavens and tossed Shartner's penis back over the crowd. As the penis flew, wiener tears trickled down onto the faces of the villagers, hissing and burning when the tears came into contact with their skin. Despite the pain, no one moved. They seemed to accept the wiener tears as punishment for the evil they had created. Transwarp Megazords started shrinking down, and soon enough, Barnaby, Nara, and Keldorf were standing together again. Trinity ran over to them, several butt slivers still in hand.
Mummy, Daddy,
she cried. All four of them embraced in a hug. Barnaby looked up at Shartner, lying on the stairs. She wasn't moving much, but he could tell she was still alive.
Give me a moment, family,
Barnaby said, keeping his eyes on Shartner's body. Barnaby walked up the steps and sat down next to Shartner. Where her penis had been now sat a bloody hole. The Shartner spiders were staggering out from here, clearly dying without the life force of their master.
The spice is no more,
they mumbled as they slowly collapsed.
The spice is no more.
Barnaby felt nothing but pity.
You know we would have accepted you for whoever you were, polyamorous or transitioning. All we wanted was for you to treat others with respect and kindness. You chose the wrong path, my friend,
Barnaby said gently to Shartner. A single tear rolled down Shartner's face. She knew she had messed things up. She now understood that she joined groups and followed ideologies because she thought they gave her power. In the end, they only took from her and held her back from being who she really was. What hurt the most was that Shartner truly believed she and Barnaby could have been friends. She had ruined her only chance at a friendship. Barnaby grabbed a final sliver from the log of Blackwater. He gave Shartner a kiss on the forehead before shoving the sliver up Shartner's asshole. He gave it a final twist, and Shartner let out a last gasp of air.
Barnaby,
The voice called out, clearer than ever. Just then a mist arose out of Shartner's body. It formed into something that resembled a human before it flew straight into Barnaby's chest. As soon as it entered him, Barnaby passed out onto the stone steps behind him.